Some would say Pharrell Williams is the GOAT producer of his generation. From his early beginnings playing band at Princess Anne High School to dominating the late 90s and early 2000s, alongside former bandmate and one half of the Neptunes, Chad Hugo, Williams has been incredibly consistent over the years, producing classic records with virtually everybody in the music industry while influencing an entire generation of artists. So how did Skateboard P go from band geek out of Virginia Beach to cultural icon? Pharrell Williams was born on April 5th, 1973 in Virginia Beach, Virginia to Carolyn and Pharrell Williams. Williams was always heavily involved in music growing up and would often attend summer band camps. In the 7th grade is where he would meet his future production partner, Chad Hugo. Williams played drums while Hugo played saxophone. The two would eventually both attend Princess Anne High School together, graduating in 1991. Williams often cites groups like Tribe Called Quest as being one of his major influences growing up, stating that their debut album, People's Instinctive Travels and the Paths of Rhythm, caused a turning point in his life which made him see that music was art. Growing up, Williams was a bit of an oddball, but in a good way, described by his mother. He would often go out to skate with his friends in his neighborhood, thus giving him the nickname Skateboard P. This was a bit of an anomaly as there weren't a ton of black kids skating in Virginia during the early 90s, a thing that would eventually become the norm in hip-hop, but Williams was one of the first to adopt skate culture as part of his identity when it wasn't necessarily the coolest thing to do. But as time went on, it was clear that Williams was ahead of his time in that aspect as skate culture became more intertwined in hip-hop. While still in high school, Williams, along with his cousin, super producer Timbaland, formed a hip-hop group named Surrounded by Idiots, along with Chad Hugo and Magoo, but the group disbanded pretty soon after.
Until I can't flow no more. Now Mayday, Mayday, the flow's on its way. Have you heard the news? Yeah, hey, shoes are like canoes, floating on the bay. Funk behind the blues, make me wanna say.
Williams would go on to form another group, a 4-member R&B type band called the Neptunes with Chad Hugo, Shay Haley, and Mike Etheridge. The four would go on to enter the high school talent show where they would be discovered by none other than super producer Ted Riley, whose studio was down the street from Princess Anne. Williams and Hugo would sign with Riley's label, Future Records, shortly after graduation. The first hit record co-produced by the Neptunes was in 1992 when Williams wrote Riley's verse for Wreck Effect's single, Rump Shaker. It was recorded the following day and would go double platinum. This would mark the beginning of an incredible run that was to come. The ball really got rolling in 96 when the duo produced for the girls group Total and SWV on the records Boy Meets Girl and Use Your Heart. Fast forward to 1998, the group made its first splash in hip-hop, producing rapper Noriega's hit single Super Thug, Looking at Me with Diddy and Mace, and 2 records for MC Lyte titled I Can't Make a Mistake and It's All Yours.
Hey yo, we light a candle, run laps around the English Channel. Neptunes, I got a cocker spaniel. We on the run now, you know it ain't no fun now. And where I go, yo, niggas.
Around this time, they also began to work with fellow Virginia duo Clipse, fully producing their 1999 project, exclusive audio footage, and releasing the album's official single titled The Funeral.
In clubs and fine linen, hopping in them, ill whips with chrome spinning. Malice was true to the game for 9 innings. We love sinning, but now I answer for that. Apologize to my fam, I got y'all dressing in black.
Between the late 90s and early 2000s, the Neptunes were pumping out smash hits left and right. Everything they touched turned to gold, and everyone in the industry wanted to record with them. Wrapping up the 90s, Hugo and Williams formed NERD in 1999, a band consisting of them and one of the original Neptunes members, Shay Haley. It served as a side project while the two would continue to produce. In 2001, they would drop their debut album, In Search Of, which would go gold, selling 603,000 copies.
I just can't take it. SOS to your ears. The only thing I ever feared was this day and having to say, oh, why you here? I wanna take some and that I love you, girl. Baby, yeah.
As the 2000s hit, they continued to crank out hits. Some of the most notable being I Just Wanna Love You by Jay-Z, Youngin by Fabulous, and You Don't Have to Call by Usher.
I just want you to know,
Let you know.
it ain't where I've been, but where I'm about to go.
Top of the world.
Now listen to the two-way and learn it goes. Let's go, VIP, boo, raise your skirt. Holla back, youngin'. Holla back. Holla back.
It's okay, girl, 'cause I'ma be alright tonight. You don't have to call. It's okay, girl.
That same year, they would form their record label Star Trek through Arista Records, where they would eventually sign acts like Clips and Khalees. In 2003, Williams would take his first dive into the fashion world by starting Billionaire Boys Club along with its subsidiary Ice Cream, a partnership with the Bathing Ape creator Nigo. The brand was credited with helping popularize streetwear's visibility in high-end fashion. BBC would make its debut in Williams' 2003 Frontin' music video.
I know that I'm carrying on, never mind if I'm showing off. I was just frontin'. You know I want you, babe. I'm ready to bet it on, unless you don't care at all. But you know I want you. You should stop frontin', babe.
In 2006, Williams would release his first solo album titled In My Mind, which would be met with generally mixed reviews. That same year, the Neptunes would produce Clips' entire third studio album, Hell Hath No Fury, where Williams would feature on one of the album's singles, Mr. Me Too.
I know what you're thinking, yeah, me too. Okay, everybody meet Mr. Me Too.
Been 2 years like I was paddy wagon cruising. Streets was yours, your dunce capping and kazooing.
Williams would continue the momentum going into the 2010s, beginning with him working on the music score for the hit kids movie Despicable Me. In May of 2012, Williams would go on to launch his multimedia project / record label, I Am Mother. Williams would describe the channel as a cultural movement dedicated to thinkers, innovators, and outcasts. The channel was launched as part of YouTube's $100 million original channel initiative. The program was funded by Google to bring original content to YouTube. The channel consisted of various shows such as Awkward Black Girl, Stereotypes, and Voice of Art. The following year, in 2013, Williams would collaborate with the French electronic duo Daft Punk on the smash records Get Lucky and Lose Yourself to Dance. He would also go on to write and produce Robin Thicke's hit record Blurred Lines, which he ultimately regretted due to the amount of backlash it received for its sexist themes. Last but not least, he went on to make his biggest video to date with the song Happy off of the Despicable Me 2 soundtrack.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break.
In 2014, he continued to create in the fashion world when he would enter a long-term contract with Adidas, releasing his Human Race collection in 2016. Fast forward to 2017, NERD would drop their 5th studio album titled No One Ever Really Dies. And in 2019, Williams organized the inaugural Something in the Water festival in his hometown of Virginia Beach, Virginia.
You're hanging out the window so they can see you, but you're not hanging out the window when you in that G2.
Thousands of people will pack the beach. Round-the-clock effort to get everything ready is underway.
It's a historic day. Something in the water, y'all. Let's go.
This year, in February of 2023, Williams was appointed as Louis Vuitton's new men's creative director, a position left vacant by the death of Virgil Abloh. Pharrell Williams remains as one of the most influential artists spanning multiple generations. His innovation and foresight in the creative world has been incredible to watch, as he's been at the forefront of trends that were to come in the game. From fashion to music, only few have been as dynamic and as versatile as Skateboard P. It's been fun watching his rise over the years, but as far as the future goes, all we can do is just wait and see.